Joining me now to give his assessment of the events unfolding in Russia and Ukraine and how the Biden administration has handled it and where we go from here is U.S. House Whip Steve Scalise. He represents the 1st Congressional District of Louisiana. He also serves on the Energy and Commerce Committee. Steve, welcome back to the program.
Hey, Tony, it's always great to be back with you. Thanks.
All right. We're now, looks like the Pentagon saying we're just possibly hours away from a further invasion into Ukraine, the president unveiling sanctions. Are these sanctions enough? Will more be required to stop Ukraine, to stop what's happening in Ukraine?
Well, the problem that you can see in Ukraine, it's like in so many other debacles that we've seen from President Biden's foreign policy, it's always reactionary. And, it's not just a little too little, a little too late. There were things that Ukraine was asking for in advance. I mean, look, they slow-walked anti-tank missiles. They still don't have enough of those. But they've also been asking the Biden administration for anti-air and anti-ship missiles. And they haven't delivered any of those. And so even if you were to get those in tomorrow, these aren't things you just point and shoot. I mean, you've got to train people to use this. And again, are they even going to have these conversations? Those were conversations that should have been had months ago. But the Biden administration was more concerned about offending Russia. And this goes to show you how failed their strategy is. They don't understand there are bad actors out there in the world, whether it's Russia, Iran, China, getting ready to move on Taiwan. They all see weakness in President Biden. It started in Afghanistan, where it became very apparent that the administration doesn't know how to run foreign policy. And, and it's just very, very sad because the people of Ukraine are the ones who are going to suffer. They've been getting a taste of freedom. They don't want to go back to communism. And yet they weren't getting any real support from the United States. And they sent Kamala Harris to Germany to tell Germany that, gee whiz, there might be a war getting ready to happen. I think they've known that for a long time. The problem is that the Biden administration is going to wait till after the fact to take action instead of doing something before to try to prevent it from happening.
Well, with that in mind, Congressman Scalise, as you mentioned, we cannot look at these in a vacuum. We have to look at what North Korea, how they're viewing this, China is viewing this. Where else do we need to be looking right now and be proactive in terms of our national security?
Yeah, there are threats all around. And again, look, Iran's moving towards a nuclear weapon. You've seen a lot of almost hostility towards Israel and their threats. But that's only getting worse. You see China making it very clear. And then look, when Putin went to meet with Xi during the Olympics, I think everybody understood they were probably having a conversation about timing. Not if, but when. Wait till after the Olympics, you move on Ukraine, and then we're going to move on Taiwan. And again, you see President Biden just sitting back. They don't want to confront China. They didn't want to confront Russia. They were more concerned about offending Russia, so they wouldn't give Ukraine the help that they were asking 4 months ago. And like the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, again, I mean, he's talking today about the Nord Stream 2. Why did he greenlight it in the first place? Everybody knew that shouldn't have happened. You don't want Europe to become more dependent on Russian oil and natural gas, and yet that's what you did. And it also helped Putin line up billions of dollars that he can use to go and stage this attack. All of this catches up with President Biden. It's something since day one he's shown weakness. He's hurt American energy. We could turn this around tomorrow with American energy, except that for the last year, he's crushed the American energy industry. Open up federal lands. President Biden can do a lot of things today. Greenlight Keystone Pipeline. They haven't approved a single pipeline in the United States of America. So it's hard for us to move energy, to produce energy in America. And he's begging OPEC, he's begging Russia to produce more oil. And now you see the fruits of those failed policies.
Right. Well, one group he doesn't appear to be, the Democrats don't worry about offending is truckers. As these convoys are coming to D.C., we see the Capitol Police reinstalling fencing around the Capitol next week. I mean, we're out of time, but I mean, looks like we've got our priorities all mixed up.
Protect America's southern border, but then they're going to protect it, block the people from coming to the Capitol. It's crazy.
Right. It boggles the mind. Congressman Steve Scalise, always great to talk with you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Great being with you,
By the
Tony.
way,
God bless.
all right. By the way, we're going to be talking about the convoy a little bit later. But coming up next, more on the events unfolding in Russia, and we're going to go Russia and Ukraine. We're going to go further, looking at the impact here at home and unpacking what Steve was talking about, what we can do proactively to kind of put a cap on these rising fuel prices. It can be fixed. We're going to talk about that next. Don't go away.